Yeah, hi everybody. Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist. I've found a story on the 14 News about Stephanie Sylvie investigates sex scandal among Jehovah's Witnesses. Controversy continues locally in the Catholic Church over the Evansville Diocese handling all alleged sexual abuse among two tri-state priests. Now Stephanie Sylvie investigates a local controversy brewing among Jehovah's Witnesses, which is having the opposite effect. It's a local problem that's bringing national attention. A Kentucky man is facing being kicked out of his church for speaking out against a molester in his church. But to first understand this story, you have to know a little bit about the theology of Jehovah's Witnesses. Elders in their church are the same principally as priests are to Catholics. They are moral and ethical men, apparently, examples within the church. And to the Jehovah's Witnesses, they are the glorious ones. Anything an elder says is viewed as the direct word of God. I gave every fibre of my being to the church. It takes 5 to 10 years to become an elder, but Bill Bowen did it. He was viewed by his congregation in Benton County, Kentucky as a man of God, but now he faces being disfellowshipped and removed from his religion. According to the Jehovah's Witnesses theology, to be disfellowshipped means your soul is doomed to die in Armageddon. I want to read that again. According to the Jehovah's Witnesses theology, to be disfellowshipped means your soul is doomed to die in Armageddon. That is just ridiculous. The battle between good and evil at the end of time. And anyone associated with you will die too. Once disfellowshipped, family and friends view you as being dead before God. If a Jehovah's Witness listens to someone disfellowshipped, you are defying the church. Oh, goodness, I'd say the organisation, the cult. Oh, I'm not even in the picture, sorry. I didn't know him at all. Hang on, the church. So he did. So how did it all happen? Last fall, Bill Bowen was asked by church elders to sort through old church files and throw away any useless or dated papers when he came across a sealed envelope. This is part of their disposal operation, covert disposal operation. And this is probably what's motivated part of that video that's getting around where they're telling their elders, even notes, get rid of the notes, like handwritten notes and everything, just dispose of it all. I didn't know him at all. Tell me it's a miracle how my folder got into his hands and it was sealed up. But there was just something about it that made him open it. And when he opened it, it was like Pandora's box for him. His whole life was changed. Lexis Lashley's life as a Jehovah's Witness was in that envelope. Lexis is a new name. She lives in a new life in Evansville after being disfellowshipped in the 80s. Sometimes religion is to the soul what cement shoes are to the body. It will just drag you down. Lexis married when she was 17. Her marriage was difficult from the beginning. I was always told, be a better wife and help him along. That's how they treat women in the Jehovah's Witnesses. But Lexis soon learned she was in over her head. She says her husband was leading a double life. In front of the congregation, he shined. But at home, he was mentally and sexually abusive. That's not uncommon in these kind of cults, because their religious enthusiasm turns them immoral and evil. He was addicted to pornography. There you go. And that wasn't all. She discovered all other problems while cleaning her bathroom mirror one day. I see this hole, and so I go around the other side of the room, which was my daughter's room, and there was a picture off the wall, and there was a peephole made. Oh my, I want to read this again. He shined in front of the congregation, but at home he was mentally and sexually abusive. He was addicted to pornography, and that wasn't all. She discovered other problems while cleaning her bathroom mirror one day. I see this hole, and so I go around the other side of the room, which was my daughter's room, and there was a picture off the wall, and there was a peephole made. Lexis went to elders. They just wanted me to put the picture back on the wall and tell him to putty it back up and stop doing that, and that's how they dealt with him. Don't do that. Lexus says his problems were much more severe, and when she couldn't get help from the elders, which 9 times out of 10 you don't in this religion, she filed for divorce and was kicked out of the church for intentionally smoking. It meant losing her daughter. People don't understand. I was willing to die, but I'm not going to take her life. She subscribed to the theology of the church, and she thought she was saving her daughter's life, so it was a measure of love on her part. In a twisted sort of way, says Bowen. Twisted because what Lexus didn't know was she was leaving her young daughter with an accused and later confessed child molester. Oh, God. A victim had come forward and accused Lexus's husband of molesting her when she was just 9 years old. But according to Jehovah's Witnesses policy, if the molester denies the accusations, the child's family must produce a second witness to the incident before anything can be done. That's a silly rule. It's a silly rule. Child molesters don't molest children in front of people, so when the child can't produce an eyewitness, the elder body then meets with the family and says, look, you don't have 2 witnesses. The man denies the charge. He remains an innocent man in the congregation. It pretty well describes how evil it is, isn't it? Hey? And what Lexus also didn't know was her husband's victim was her 9-year-old sister. The things that I hear that went on after I went on and went to sleep make me sick. Makes me sick that she couldn't tell me. The little girl, they shut them up, don't they? They frighten them so badly and scar them so badly they won't speak up. That little secret and others like the two-way mirror were tucked away in the file Bill Bowen found years later. By this time, the child molester was also an elder, a glorious one. When confronted by Bowen, the elder finally confessed. They called for strict confidentiality, though the man had confessed. They told me that I couldn't even tell his own wife that he was a child molester. I call that hiding child molesters. I want to read that again. They called for strict confidentiality, though the man had confessed. The man had confessed, and they still called for confidentiality. They didn't need 2 witnesses. They told me that I couldn't even tell his own wife that he was a child molester. I call that hiding child molesters. The elder had remarried and had another daughter, a granddaughter, and custody of his daughter with Lexus. Lexus didn't know about the molestation of his sister because rather than having the molester disfellowshipped, the elders disfellowshipped Lexus's sister for alleged promiscuous behaviour years later. Oh, boy. Shut this organisation down. It's a cult. It's a wicked, evil cult. Oh, what have I done? Bowen says that's common among victims. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses have a solution to that. They disfellowship them, and that way they don't have to deal with the problem. And the victim is thus re-victimized again. They are alienated from their family. Their own parents will not help or assist them unless they are absolutely destitute. And any other friend or family they have known outside their immediate family views them as dead. Bill Bowen went against orders of the church and went public with what he knew. He resigned as elder and created a website called Silent Lambs, where Jehovah's Witnesses could speak out about being victimized. Thousands across the country did. Who would have thought Kentucky would have been the start of an organization for child molestation? But Bowen's church wasn't so supportive. I was demonized in our church. Members were afraid to speak to me because they considered me to be a man against God. While Bowen was shunned, the confessed child molester was embraced by the church and asked to give lectures and readings. I confronted the elders about that. I said, it's an offence to the victim as well as offensive to me that you would use a child molester as an example within the church. And I'll never forget, one of the elders standing there said, the most offensive people take offence. So I just sat there and thought to myself, me as a person that turned in a child molester and the victim are more offensive to you than the child molester himself. Well, in my opinion, that supports pedophiles and his commitment. Oh my goodness, that was it for me. By this time, Lexus learned of her sister's abuse, but it was too late. Her sister is no longer disfellowshipped, and is back in good standing. She lives with her parents in Henderson. Lexis remains disfellowshipped, so the two still can't communicate. Her daughter was a different story. Lexis called her ex-husband and said the daughter wouldn't be returning home after a weekend visit. He threatened to take her to court, so I said, let's go. I would love to stand in front of a judge with you and tell him you are a pedophile, and it was just silence, and I haven't been bothered by these people anymore. You won't be when they have to become accountable. This is a good story, isn't it? Lexis's daughter says at first she was angry with Bill Bowen. She felt he'd ruined her life, but that was changed. I just think he was doing what he was doing is for the better, even though it affects my family. I really appreciate it, but it's kind of hard to say that when it's right against your father. The daughter says she can't remember if she was ever molested by her father and still loves him, but says people have a right to know. I don't think it's right at all to keep it a secret. Me, I will always be Satan. I don't even ever think they will thank me for it. I don't need the religion to thank me. I know what I'm doing is right, says Bowen. I think he saved my life, Lexis says, crying. He saved my life and he gave me the courage to get my child back. Bill Bowen has a hearing Friday in Benton County before the elders to decide if he will be disfellowshipped for causing divisions within the church. Oh, come on! He is fighting to remain in good standing because he's disfellowshipped. Victims of abuse can't come to him, or they too will be faced disfellowshipping. Bowen wants Jehovah's Witnesses policy to change so child molesters can't go door to door, can't be elders, and parents can go to the police first. Just this February, the church came out saying parents wouldn't face sanctions if they went to police. But I also stated parents wouldn't face sanctions if they remained silent as well. Oh, that's the right look. See the look on this guy's face? That's the look on my face. Wow. Lexis's husband was later removed as an elder in the church, but remains in good standing. The congregation, however, didn't know he was removed because it was announced in church he was stepping down after a job well done. He was praised within the church. And NBC's Dateline is doing an hour-long story on this case and others in the Jehovah's Witnesses Church next week. Wow, what a story. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales. Bye for now. Yeah, Dr. Jason Morrison, theologist again. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you got plenty of self-rediscovery and freedom out of it. If you watched it on YouTube, please share or like. Maybe even comment. If you watch it on Facebook, like, comment, share. But most of all, get out and live. This isn't a rehearsal. You've got a one-off life. Don't let your loyalty and your faithfulness blind you to the life that you should be experiencing. Till the next video, thank you for watching and bye for now.